Hello again folks, and welcome back to another one of my little videos. I am here at home, as everybody should be, and apart from that little half hour an hour's exercise each day, this is where I am based. Today I am going to try and not rant too much. However, I'm very uncomfortable about some of the things that the nuclear industry, particularly EDF and the Chinese General Nuclear CGN, are doing at this time. Let's take a look. Most people will be very concerned about the fact that EDF and CGN are still progressing with the stage 1 pre-application for the possible Bradwell B. And this is the full leaflet. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I'm going to start with Hinkley Point C, because the common factor running through the three things that I'm going to talk about are EDF and CGN. So at Hinkley Point B, terribly sad that Mr. Elkins died this month, and other people have been tested positive at the Hinkley Point C site amongst the workmen for coronavirus. And yet they're still progressing with building Hinkley Point C and not standing down completely. I understand that a number of workers have been laid off on the furlough basis, which means that we as taxpayers will end up paying for it through the government scheme. That at least is a token gesture. However, surely they should shrink right down to a minimum skeleton crew, because of the problem that this could really rife in that village, and it's causing stress. It's not just causing stress amongst the people of Bridgewater and the surrounding areas where there are the guest houses where people are staying, as well as the accommodation blocks. And I understand everyone has come out of the surrounding towns, including Bridgewater, to stay in the on-site hotels. But it is the worker stress too. They're putting out photos on their own Facebook and Twitter pages showing that in the canteen they are not observing the full 2-metre social distancing, and the chances of this becoming a real problem health-wise is very severe. And it is a bit of an irony that the government's, the NDA, the Nuclear Decommissioning Authority, has put out a leaflet from Bradwell to do with Bradwell A, which is one of the sites that they look after under the Magnox brand. And in here it says, just over a month ago, and this only came a couple of days ago via email, we paused all non-essential activities at our sites and our staff to work from home. And at the bottom there you can probably see the classic stay at home, protect the NHS and save lives. So there seems to be this split, this schizophrenia, where you've got the government agency here supporting the government's measures and standing down as many people as they can, and also in this document it talks about all the vulnerable people that would have a risk of falling ill with the coronavirus have been seconded out to work from home. And then much closer to home, here we are in Essex, is Sizewell. And Sizewell C proposals, it really looks like the EDF DCO, the Development Consent Order, they're going to submit those forms now, or within the very short time frame of where we are now, the 28th of April 2020. And this is without the public really being able to become involved on a face-to-face level. And why wouldn't they wait for a few months? Because we're already in a good few weeks. The 16th of March was when the real advice came in about staying at home. Why wouldn't we wait maybe the 12 weeks that was talked about the 3 months into mid-June, or maybe just to the autumn. It just doesn't make sense. I do not understand why EDF and CGN think that this is so urgent that it has to be done now. So I have huge sympathy for our friends Stop Sizewell C and Together Against Sizewell C further up in Suffolk with their accelerated process from where we are in Essex. And now we'll talk about the situation with Bradwell B, and again it's the same company, but of course there's a bigger situation revolving around the fact that they are the Hualong HPR 1000 reactors and not the EPR reactors that are at Hinkley and potentially at Sizewell. And this was one of the latest newsletters that came from BRB, and in here it talks about how Bradwell B is a nationally significant infrastructure project, like we don't know that. The next line in that first sentence, which aims to deliver low carbon electricity that the UK urgently needs. Yeah, of course we need low carbon electricity, but I'm going to have a little look at a comparison between what would happen if the whole nuclear fleet, the current fleet, even if Hinkley Point C was finished, Sizewell B being the only PWR in the fleet, all the others are these advanced gas cool reactors, AGRs, what difference that would make to the carbon. Because the real problem is not necessarily the energy mix as far as electricity generation, it is the home heating, it is the oil and the gas that is used in industry and in transport. So I'm going to look at that, and meanwhile I think it is outrageous that the stage 1 consultation is continuing. This is the point at which possibly the public would have the most influence in the process of moving towards the DCO. Why? It cannot just wait a few weeks. I think there were 4 or 5 events that actually happened. Why it cannot wait is just beyond me, and it does seem to make a situation that is grossly wrong and weighted in favour of the nuclear guys, because they have now lifted their game by sending out one of these summary consultation document to every house, and I think that's to a certain extent in response of thinking, well, actually, have we properly engaged with the public? I'm sorry, a telephone call and a virtual exhibition is not sufficient for the public to make a response. You need to be able to go into a room, see what they're talking about, have decent conversations face to face with people. It just makes no sense. So I'm going to leave you with that for a while. Thank you very much for listening to me going on again, and I do wish you all the very best at these times. It's tough, it's concerning, and I don't think we'll ever go back to what we had before. I think there are some merits in that. We've obviously learning a lot being in this situation. Please stay and keep safe. All the very best. Don't forget to click on the blobs, and do please stay in touch. Thank you for listening.